How to make an MPEG2 video file with the highest quality possible using Ffmpeg. I have got a WMV V9 with WMV3 960x720 30.000030 frames per second, planar 4:2:0 YUV, produced by PowerPoint 2010, file and need to convert it to MPEG2. The only format my TFET can read from an USB flash drive. I have also tried MP4/H.264, AVI/XVED, nothing but MPEG2 works. I have managed to do the job with simple. But the quality of the result is dreadful. Clearly visible visual distortions are introduced, and the playback is not smooth, too slow at some moments. I have also tried. I have found this somewhere in the internet and modified a little bit, changed the resolution, the refresh rate and the output format from VOB to bare MPG successfully, but the quality is still too bad. What parameters do I have to use to save as much quality as possible? Compression ratio doesn't matter at all, even increase in file size is acceptable. Another thing I actually need, I have chosen not to include it in the question title to avoid making it too specific, but I'd appreciate it being considered in the answers, is adding pure silence as a soundtrack. There is no sound in the original, but the TV set complains about it and I'd like to get rid of this complaint. I have generated the same length, second precise, silence of Vobis file using Audacity, but I can't manage to merge it with the video. And even bare gives buffer underflow and packet too large errors. In .mpg are the files produced by the same Ffmpeg binary and the same source WMV file using the first two commands in the question. I am using a Zarano Ffmpeg build on Windows 7.
The problem is that the default bitrate for the MPEG2 is rather low, as with most other video encoders in Ffmpeg, the H.264 one being an exception. MPEG2 is also not the best choice as a codec these days. Better quality for MPEG2. You have a few options if you want to stick with MPEG2. Increase the bitrate. You're now using B/V 2500K. If it's HD video, you will not get far with only 2.5 Mbps. You need at least double that or even more to make the result look good. For example, use B/V 6000K target PAL DVD. For 720p, I think that you should still use a higher bitrate. Remember that DVDs use MPEG2 and come in about 4.7 GB for 2 hours of movie, so you end up with around 5 to 8 Mbps. MPEG2 is really not very compression efficient and works better at higher bitrates. Use a specific quality setting. Change B/V to Q-Scale column V2. The number here ranges from 1 to 31 and higher means lower quality. There's no point going beyond 4 or 5. If you don't care for the bitrate, start with 2 and see if that works for you. Messing with the number of B-frames, motion estimation method or GOP size may tweak the quality a little but won't result in big changes. Silent audio. Use flavfi = 0 to generate a silent audio stream. For example, you may need to add target PAL DVD to the above command to force a certain buffer size. I chose MP3 as codec. MPEG files cannot contain audio other than MPEG layer I and 2 audio as well as PCM streams, so using a silent OGG Vorbis file will not work unless you convert the audio stream as well, which is not what you're doing when you use C-column a copy. Use a different video codec. I'm surprised that a TV that plays video files will read MPEG2 but not anything else. At least MPEG for Part 2 video should be supported. That's what you know as DivX, an MPEG for Part 2 encoder. So you could try. Your TV might actually also support H.264, but only a certain profile. Try using the baseline profile, for example. In the above example, I used the CRF option to set the quality instead of Q-Scale. See the H.264 encoding guide for more.
I would immediately say if file size doesn't really matter, then just experiment with increasing the bitrate. For the silent audio, you may just want to use Ffmpeg. I do not know enough about Audacity to give any sort of comment. I have used this before. This won't work for you though since you are using MPG container, so you may want to try MP3 container. It seemed to work for me.
If water put not even the lucky and drop it.